Some of them just don't care. Some of them trying though. Without faith in you, what do they rely upon? To keep them righteous on the same streets the guys are dying on. Doctrine of the devils, survival of the fittest. Cause all I see is meaning is survival of the wicked. It's like you play a game and somebody starts cheating you. You feel the only way to beat them is become a cheater too. They call it being tough, it's really being weak. Switching teams out of fear that you see defeat. That's like a crib in a room with 100 bloods, given the option of either dying or becoming one. Homie, I know it cause I did it. I hustle cause I fear my way of living. If I didn't, I'm familiar with the prison of the mind, but in him is no fear. Lord, save those, though heaven is, don't hear. Please, cause we done felt a lot of pain. So Lord, I know we feel. We done seen a lot of things. So my prayers that you heal.
On the live. Well, that's Bizzle. Bizzle, you can Google him. You can put him on YouTube. Bizzle. A few seconds, and we're gonna get started.
Or it's not the black religion. In America, slavery is the only path we're given. Searching for a history that reaches past the master's weapons. This in the Bible,
not knowing how many blacks is in it.
So they revert to Egypt. We know that they were black, so Moses had to be the fit in when they brought that baby back. Joseph blended in so well his family recognized him. So how you think Mary
took Jesus
up to Egypt to hide him? And honestly, back then there wasn't even such a race as black. It wasn't till way later we even started claiming that. I can pick the Bible up and show you everything that's black. The problem is you should praise him
without me even saying that.
Worship the Lord who did what you could not do. Cause you were made in his image.
Not cause he looked like you.
I'm saying, I understand why you feel how you feel. But feelings don't always tell you what's real.
He is the truth. Ain't no way. Ain't the light, homie. Shabbat Shalom, family. Shalom to all my Hebrew brothers out there today. We thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us today. I said that y'all talking about when you come in, we say invite your friends. Yeah. We thank each and every one of you for taking time out your busy schedule to be with us today. We know there's a lot going on with all the graduations and with all the different things that's going on in our community and worldwide. So we just thank each and every one of you today for being with us. Well, we know that there's a lot going on, but if you took time to sign on with us and be with us today, we just thank each and every one of you for being here today. We do not take that for granted when you take time out of your schedule to tune on to this Sabbath lesson. We like to welcome each and every one of you. For some of you that are new with us today, we would like to welcome you to week 11 of the awakening. The awakening is the awakening of our people. The awakening of the so-called black man, the so-called African-American man, to the truth of who we are, being the tribe of Judah from the nation of Israel. And so we're going to be putting week 8, week 9, and week 10 into the box. So if you hadn't had an opportunity to take part in some of those videos, we ask that you go back in your own time. Also, if this is the actual first time you've ever been with us, and this is your first week, we ask you to go back and in your own time and check out the first 7 weeks, all the 10 weeks that we have, because every lesson that we give is building upon each other. So a lot of things that you may hear today may kind of shock you, may kind of shake you up a little bit. But if you go back and you start in week 1 and you catch yourself up, you will be understanding of where we are and why we're declaring the things that we are declaring here today. So we do thank you, like we said in the outset, for being with us today. We have a very, very extensive lesson today, very important lesson today. And so before I get started, because we don't want to take a lot of time, because we have a lot to give you today, I do want to cover 2 quick things that I want to say to the people. Number 1, there's only been one perfect person who delivered God's word. And that one person is Christ. Okay? There's only been one person in the history of the civilization who delivered the word of the Most High that was perfect, and that was Christ. And the reason why I'm saying that today is because there's a misunderstanding amongst the people when you tell them the truth and when you point out certain things about the sins and things that we need to walk away from. People think that you're judging them. And the reason why they think that you're judging them because many of the churches don't address the things of this nature. A lot of churches only preach salvation. They only preach submission to the pastor, and they only preach their bylaws and certain doctrines of their denomination. But other areas of the Bible they never actually go into. And so when you hear people actually address those things, people believe that you're judging them or pointing fingers. And let me tell you right now, okay, neither one of us here pretend to be perfect. Neither one of us pretend to be like we're keeping fully the whole law. Neither one of us pretending to think that we got it all together. Okay? So when you hear a truth or something comes up in your life that is addressed in any of these videos or any message, exactly, Crystal. You know what I'm saying? You know, so don't think that we're coming down on you. My job as a giver of the word, as a preacher of the gospel, is to address those things. Because if I didn't love you, I would just allow yourself to remain in the place that you are. And so I just wanted to address those things because some people were thinking that we were judging the people and judging the churches and judging other people like we're perfect. No, we're not, okay? We all are work in progress. So I wanted to address that. But number two, this message today is entitled, "To whom much is given, much is required." To whom much is given, much is required. And you're going to learn today that our people was given so much more than any other nation in this world. And you're going to realize today, that I hope you realize today, that we are not an oppressed people. We are a fallen people. And this is the mindset that the enemy and the people of this world and people of this country has tried to make us believe. And all of us believed that for so long, that we were oppressed people because we were seeing what the people of this country were doing to us. But I want you to leave this today, as you leave this lesson today, going into this mindset, that we are not an oppressed people. We are a fallen people. You're going to learn that today. That everything that happened to us didn't happen to us because somebody was better than us. It didn't happen to us because somebody was stronger than us. It didn't happen because we're at the bottom of the totem pole, like they want us to believe. No, it happened because we were at the top and we took it for granted, and the Most High brought us low. We're not an oppressed people. We are a fallen people. Matter of fact, let us get that precept before we get started. Go to Romans 11, okay? Let us do that precept first, and then we're going to get into the lesson, because I think that we need to see that. Because in the country, when you turn on the television, the way they talk about us and the way they treat us, and then when you go out into communities and the way you're looked at and you're discriminated against, we believe that we are an oppressed people because of what we see the current status of ourselves. But what you're going to learn today is that you're not an oppressed man. You're not an oppressed woman. You are a fallen woman. Right? So go to Romans 11 and look at verse 11 there. We're going to read that, and then we're going to dive right into the lesson, because I thought that was very important. The Most High brought that out in the prayer this morning when I was praying this morning, that he wanted me to tell the people that we are not oppressed people. We are a fallen people. Now, Romans, the 11th chapter, and look at verse 11 and 12 there.
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid.
So he's saying right here, he's talking about the nation of Israel. Have they stumbled so that they should fall and be done away with? What did he say?
God forbid. But rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy.
So the Most High is saying here, Paul is saying here, that our fall didn't come so that we'd be done away as a people. Our fall came so that the Gentiles can receive salvation, and we can see what they're getting. They're getting our blessing. They're getting our covering. They're getting participate in the things with the Most High that we had. Because remember back in Psalms 147, verse 19 to 20, the Most High told us that he gave his laws, statutes, and commandments to the nation of Israel, and no other nation have he visited. Right? So he's saying here, listen, did that happen so that they could be done away with? And he said, God forbid. Our fall came as a result so that we could see what we had lost. Right? It's just like when you date a woman and you take that woman for granted. And then when that woman breaks up with you, and she goes off and be good to the next man, and you sit back and watch from a distance like, man, I can't believe I gave that up. That's what the Most High did to us. Verse 12.
Now if the fall of them be the riches of the world, and the diminution of them the riches of the Gentiles, how much more therefore?
So he's saying if one nation could fall and the whole world could get rich, if one nation could fall and the whole world could put on, how on are we? You understand? So I wanted to address that initially because we are not an oppressed people. You're going to learn today that we are a fallen people. So